Hey y'all, welcome back to another daily upload. Now that exams are finally over and I can do my favorite hobby of slacking, why not make another video for the 3 skeletons still waiting for my next upload? Okay, I got it. Maybe can have a list of the animes I want to watch. That'll be good filler, right? Alright. Yeah, let's just do it. Why not? Also, I'll be linking all the background footages and trailers used in the description. And few disclaimers before we get into it. I prefer to go into a show completely blind, which was how I enjoyed shows like AOT and Death Parade so much. As a result, some of the background footages may be a bit minimal, as obviously I don't want to expose myself too much. Although there are some exceptions, most notably Megalobox Season 2 Nomad. This is probably the anime that I am the most excited to watch, and I actually watched the original season of Megalobox like 2 weeks ago, and even though I wasn't immediately hooked onto it, I really started to enjoy and appreciate the show more. For example, the sound effects, the characters, the OST, like listen to this dude. Okay. That's enough. And of course, the theme of what it means to be a true fighter in the ring. And without a doubt, the thing that drew me in initially was the art style. Now, I have not seen that many old-looking movies or animes, but I do plan on seeing some, and Megalobox just so happens to be one of them. For a show that came out in 2018, the gritty, rough, and purposely lowered quality really helped it to stand out from the rest of the crowd, in a good way of course. And I wasn't actively watching anime at that time, but even now, I could tell that it was on a whole nother level. Also, the story and the actual anime itself kinda share the same predicament with each other. Boxing without gear on may seem like a gimmick to get cheap attention, similar to how some people may think that the purposely lowered quality of the anime was also a gimmick to get cheap attention. However, in the end, both anime and story were able to prove that they are, indeed, the true article. With the 90s-esque art style, it's also able to effectively mix in a lot of the modern lighting, the effects, the details, and all the other parts of an anime that I am not qualified enough to talk about. And in the end, you get like this mix of modern meets oldish anime, and that is something that I did not know I enjoyed. But hey, you learn something new every day, am I right? But of course, Megalobox isn't about style over substance. Like I said, I liked basically the entire cast. Nobody I particularly disliked. Nambu was a character that went through a lot of development, and the twist that I think you know what twist I'm talking about was really surprising. And Shirato just reminds me of a kinder Satsuki from Kill la Kill. I just wanted to put that out. And by the end of the last episode, the show seemed to be headed towards something more happy, more cheerful. But from the trailers, we see Joe down in the dumps and fighting in underground matches again, and it's just so intriguing. You just raise to a lot of questions. What happened to him? Why is he like this? Is Nambu still alive? And why is the new ending so good? Okay, this isn't a Megalobox review. Just know that I really like this show. And I actually plan on watching the second season once it's fully over. But sometimes I randomly just really want to start watching it. But I can wait, really. It's no biggie. Okay, I'm done talking about Megalobox. Next show, please. Horimiya, a prominent show that came out last season. Now, last season, the only seasonal show that I did watch was AOT, but that's not to say I didn't pay attention to some of the other animes that were airing. Case in point, Horimiya. I did read the synopsis and it did pique my curiosity about what the plot was about. And I also did see some cute manga panels, so that's another contributing factor, I guess. For the people that don't know, Horimiya is a romance where the protagonists, they each reveal a side of themselves that they don't usually reveal to the public and get into a relationship. Yeah, it's a bit complicated than that. I don't really know how to explain it. I just read the synopsis. Although I did hear that the anime did skip over a lot of the content from the manga, so the pacing might be a bit of an issue, but I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on this anime. Okay, give it to me. Give it to me, give it to me. Oh, shit. Part 6! Let's go, baby! Let's take a quick break and talk about the shows that have not come out yet. JoJo Part 6 and Komi San. Contrary to most animes, I have read both of the source materials, but have either not completed them or not kept up. Back in early 2020, I kinda got bored of waiting and just started to read the manga of Stone Ocean. And I got all the way until the Diver Down review, which is ironic because I think I was the most curious about Anasui's ability, so unlucky, I guess. This is the first JoJo manga I've read, so I'm not used to the high concept elements that some of the fights have in pictures, so it's lucky that the anime is here. But I will say, in terms of setting, I think it's really refreshing, although I did hear that they escaped the prison, so there's that. And I'm also really excited to see some of the stands animated. I think they are probably the most funky ones we've seen so far, and I'm all for it. For Komi San, I just borrowed the books from my classmate and read it during class, and I think I burned through all 3 of her books in 3 days, and I can't really remember much. But I will say, I look like an absolute madman when I laugh out loud at some of the text. So I'm definitely watching this when it comes out. This is a type of anime that I have very little idea on what's going on. Based on the synopsis, it's like a reverse isekai, but at the same time, it's not really. Okay, I don't know, dude. But I did hear from my friends that it was a decent show. And I did notice that while Mappa was wiping the floor with the rest of the competition, the second season of this show maintained a steady top 5. So that must surely mean something, right? We'll give it a chance. Just definitely not on the top of my to-watch list. Let's just go over the 3 Studio Ghibli films: The Wind Rises, Howl's Moving Castle, and Grave of the Fireflies. I've heard that both The Wind Rises and Grave of the Fireflies were World War II movies, and okay, I think I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm the war expert here. I think I can give a proper analysis since I do watch oversimplified. Okay, so listen up, boys and girls. One day I was scrolling through the saddest animes with my friends because we were bored, and surprisingly, Grave of the Fireflies was on the top of the list. So it's definitely gonna be emotional, which I don't mind, and I'm curious to find out. And compared to the other Studio Ghibli films, this animation stood out to me far more than the others. To be honest, the other films I have really stupid reasons for getting interested in them. For one, The Wind Rises I saw in this AMV, which is Real Love by Android 52, and it is amazing. Please listen to it, I beg you. And for Howl's Moving Castle, I just saw this clip of eggs and bacon being cooked from binging with Barbish, so you can tell I have a keen eye of picking up quality anime to enjoy. Tonikaku Kawaii, Over the Moon. I've heard that if you want to get diabetes from how sweet an anime is, this is the show for you. I'm not sure if the people who said this are overreacting, but come on, man. After watching The Future Diary and to a lesser extent Run a Girlfriend, I think I finally need to see a romance that is a legit relationship as a palate cleanser. Please, okay, if I see you Future Diary again on my watch list, I swear to God, I'll drop you faster than my parents dropped me as a child. Do you understand? Mob Psycho 100. People call this the spiritual successor to One Punch Man, and I did already have a slight interest in the latter, but I just couldn't bring myself to watch it. However, I feel like Mob Psycho is something that I can see myself watching and enjoying. Maybe it's a change in setting, but I feel like I just find it more exciting and something that I can resonate with. Now, I'm sure that One Punch Man is a really fun show, but just saying, I'd probably prioritize Mob Psycho over One Punch Man. I've also heard a lot of good things about Mob Psycho from my friends and from YouTubers alike, but I've heard that One Punch Man focuses more on the side characters, and they look extremely boring. One of them looks like Wraith from Apex Legends, and I hate Wraith, so the answer's pretty obvious. At the beginning of March, I watched both the first episodes of QQ and The Future Diary, and I chose to continue The Future Diary over QQ. So you know what that means? Wow, this is like the second time in a single video that I've talked smack about The Future Diary. What are the odds? It's a good show, I promise. It's just really easy to make fun of. I do have a separate video, and I would say link in description, but I only have like 6 videos, so it's really not that hard to find. Anyways, back to QQ. QQ fans are crazy, dude. But based on the first few episodes and a couple of clips, I can see why. Because when I start watching it again, I got a feeling that it's gonna be pretty decent. And the opening is also a bomb, so there's that. Each girl has their own personality and their own distinct looks, which is ironic since they're all quintuplets. And also, I've never seen a show that's this divided over which is best girl. So if you like to have debates on which fictional woman you like the most, I think this is the show for you. Cells at Work, Code Black. And I actually watched the original Cells at Work in like August of last year, and I thought it was okay, but I didn't really feel the urge to continue watching it. But now, after learning specifically on the topic of bio and seeing how boring physics was, I've grown more slightly attached to the topic. And I did hear from the people that watched it that the anime is surprisingly educational, so I'm curious about how the anime is gonna do it. And the reason why I singled out Code Black was because I don't know, even though I dropped the first anime and can't make a good comparison, I think the concept of cells overworking in an unhealthy body is more exciting than one which doesn't really have any problems. But then again, I didn't really watch the first one, so I don't know, man. Post-production here. I forgot to mention that, yes, I will be watching Code Black. It actually looks more interesting than the other animes on this list, so it's definitely gonna be high on the list. So that's all I have to say. To Your Eternity, another anime I found through watching Gigguk's Winter List. And a couple of my friends were also surprised when they saw this on my to-watch list, since it's also not something I'd watch. The thing is, based on what I saw from Gigguk's video, I thought it was just gonna be some guy trying to find his family through a harsh winter with his pet dog. And I do love movies and books based on that concept, so I'd already be semi-interested by it. But after reading the synopsis, there's apparently gonna be some supernatural elements to the show. And when I read that part, I was a bit worried since I think supernatural stuff might ruin the survival aspect of the anime in some way. Worst case scenario, if they made it overtly complicated, somehow, easy 2 out of 10, no question. But if it makes it better somehow, I'd be impressed. Or maybe it won't even show up that much at all, which would be a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Anyway, I'm probably gonna wait for the whole series to end before I start watching it. It's only like 12 episodes, I think, so no rush, man. Unlike all the other seasonal animes on this list, I found this completely on my own. And for the people who know me, this would not be an anime that I would be interested in because of those stupid string of words under the genre tag. I don't necessarily mind slice of lives, but I'd much prefer the more Neanderthal genres. I'm a simple man, okay? Me see bright colors and sounds, me have. But as incredibly cliche as this sounds, I was more curious than usual and for some reason was drawn to it. Okay, who knows? This could be the worst anime I've ever seen, right under Himigoto. But who knows? It doesn't hurt to watch this. So that's it. If you have your own recommendations, put that down in the comments. I'll probably not read them. And if you want to have a rough idea on the priority list of the anime in this video, here you go. But then again, I can change on a whim. One day I might randomly decide to watch something like Dr. Stone, Howl's Moving Castle, QQ, hey, maybe even redo of He. Hold hands, face to face, get romantic, let's get it on. Kick, kick, punch, jump, pose, smooth chop, love with